head of NATO says the deployment of North Korean troops in Russia's Kursk region represents a dangerous expansion of Russia's war in Ukraine. Secretary-General Mark Rutte has confirmed the deployment following a meeting with South Korean officials. Last week, Russia's President Vladimir Putin didn't deny that North Korean troops are currently in Russia. Mr. Rutte says NATO allies will continue to support Ukraine.
The deployment of North Korean troops represents one, a significant escalation in the DPRK's ongoing involvement in Russia's illegal war. NATO calls on Russia and the DPRK to cease these actions immediately.
For more on this, let's bring in Emeritus Professor Gilbert Rozman from Princeton University, who joins us from Maryland. Now, Professor Rozman, these North Korean troops are in the Kursk region. What does that tell us about their role at this time?
It tells us that North Korea is just delighted with this opportunity. It's been isolated, it suffered pressure from many countries, and now it's broken out of its isolation, and it improves its military training and probably gets some big advantages in its arms as well. It's a wonderful thing for North Korea, but even more interesting is what it does for Russia, because it gives Russia more leverage over China, and it gives Russia an opportunity to establish its turn to the east, which Putin has been showcasing for 12 years, and now he's got an important new development.
What about the capabilities of North Korean troops? The Wall Street Journal reported that video evidence, intelligence reports suggest that they're likely young men in the early stages of military conscription, not experienced in trench warfare.
Well, of course, they haven't had any fighting in ages. There's no military experience they've had. But nonetheless, these are supposed to be special operation forces, more of an elite group in North Korea. And we'll just have to see what their capabilities are. We have no idea because they haven't been tested.
North Korea has been providing weapons, and we know that Moscow and Pyongyang have been allies since North Korea was founded. What effect has the war in Ukraine had on this relationship?
It strengthened the relationship. It was a relationship that Russia wanted to strengthen for many reasons, and now it really does strengthen it immensely, and it has a big effect on Russia's image, gaining sort of indirect influence by North Korea's ability to threaten countries in Asia. It gives Russia not only an aggressive step in Ukraine, but a more aggressive presence in Asia.
You've spoken about the importance of North Korea in Vladimir Putin's turn to the east, that embracing North Korea is about more than just the Ukraine war, that there is a broader strategy here. What do you mean by that?
Well, he doesn't want to depend entirely on China. And lately it's looked like China dominates and Russia, because it didn't succeed very well in the Ukraine war, and now has to rely on China even more. But the fact that it has North Korea, which wants to play off Russia against China, gives it more leverage versus China. It establishes Russia's identity in Asia, not just as following China, but as having an independent course. And it strengthens its position versus the United States. It wants to reestablish a kind of triangular relationship, China, United States, and Russia. It wasn't taken very seriously, and this will help it be taken a little bit more seriously.
Gilbert Rozman, Emeritus Professor from Princeton University, thank you so much for your insights on this.
You're welcome.